Good evening, hello, and welcome to the 21st edition of Queer Film Festival Mezipatra. And thank you very much for joining us at another day of live interviews with filmmakers and inspiring personalities of the queer community. Please be aware that this part of the program will be held in English, so if you need Czech translation, please switch to YouTube. Dobrý večer, pokud tato část programu bude probíhat pouze v angličtině, takže pokud byste potřebovali český překlad, najdete ho na našem YouTube kanále. Okay, so today we have a very special guest joining us here at the live studio. He is an Argentinian screenwriter and director and the author of a feature film competing in our main international competition called Young Hunter. His name is Marc Berger, and some of you may know him or his films from or thanks to another Czech film festival, Febiofest, where several of his recent movies, such as The Blonde One or The Absent, were presented at previous editions of this festival. So naturally we are very excited that we can finally introduce his specific point of view and his specific approach to our audience here at Mezipatra. Marco is already a very well established filmmaker who have been succeeding at several highly respected film festivals such as Berlinale and so on. And every few years he arrives with another striking movie about male desire and queer gaze and various forms of love, so to speak. And Young Hunter, his most recent film, is his seventh feature film, I believe, and tells a story of a 15-year-old Ezekiel who sets off on a journey of self-discovering and exploring his own sexuality, but later he finds himself blackmailed by a dealer of child pornography. So if you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check it out because it's really an interesting film, and I guarantee you there are not many movies like this. Okay, so that would be my brief introduction, and now let me thank to our special guest, Marco Berger. Where are you? Thank you very much for coming, or virtually coming, to Prague, and thank you very much for your time.
Thanks to you. I'm very happy to be here and very glad to be with the film in your city. So thank you very much.
Great, we are more than thrilled to have you with us. So I would love, honestly, I would love to start with something more positive, but I think it's obvious from what I've said that your movie is not positive at all. It is very dark and mysterious, and also the main topic is very serious as well. So please tell us, how did you come to writing a screenplay about or dealing with child pornography? Is it really that pressing issue in Argentina? Or, yeah.
No, actually, I really wanted to talk about like human ethic, like decisions, when you have to make decisions. That's why I put the character in this huge problem with pornography and video films with the telephones and blah blah. I know it's dark. I know it's a very dark film, and I know it's very like serious and dangerous, the subject. But I think it was all for talking about what do you have to do when you have to make such a decision. When you have to think about yourself or to think about other people. That's why I say actually it's a a film about human ethic and human self decisions in a way. The story in the beginning come from a police notice in the around 2000 in Argentina. It was this teacher, like computer teacher or English teacher, that with a friend, like 18 years old boy, they kept people from like 15, 14, 13 to have these like sex parties. And I know then the guy, it was in prison, and also the other 18-year-old boy also. And with this idea, and also another script that I never finished, I mixed all of this and I made this film. I didn't want it to be like very realistic, because I don't know any case actually with like hidden cam and porn in Argentina, but I know exists in the world, and sometimes I know in Google or internet you can find pictures or material with young people. So I wanted to make a film around this subject, around this problem, and also to talk about because actually the problem of the boy is that he is inside the closet. He's 15, 16. The family doesn't know he's gay, so when he needs help, he cannot ask anybody to help him. So that's why I chose the subject with a gay boy.
Okay, so in your point of view, the main problem or the main topic of the movie is not socially charged. It's not a social problem, but more rather a moral problem of ethics, right?
Yeah, in a way, yes, yes. I think it's an excuse. All the problem this boy has have to be really strong. I have to create a really big monster around him. And this big monster is, of course, the child pornography problem and the dark side of internet and everything. But I think everything goes to one point in which the film becomes not so dark. It becomes bright, because it's when you see the world, is really dark, but you can separate and you can make your own decisions. So that's why I think it's positive for the individual person and the individual point of view. It's like the film says everybody knows there is like in in Star Wars, it's a dark side of the Force and it's a white side of the Force, and you can choose in which place you can be. So I think all this problem is actually an excuse for making an important decision as a person. So he is growing, and actually after this decision in the end of the film, when he has to decide, this decision is going to mark him for the rest of his life. That's why I put him in this poetic way when he goes deep in the water, like to renew himself in a way.
I see. So even though the topic is essentially erotically charged, the movie is not sexually explicit at all. All
Yes.
of the love scenes are very subtle and gentle and discreet, and the only thing audience gets is a glance at the upper bodies of your main characters. And yet
Yes.
the sexual tension is still very, very present, and it's overwhelming during the whole movie. So why did you decide to be so, let's say, strict in terms of nudity and sexuality?
Because if I want to make a film about pornography, like direct pornography as a business, or I want to make a film about, I don't know, a prostitution or anything related with adult people being naked, I have no problem. Actually, in Taekwondo, in The Blonde One, it's naked people, it's sex scenes. But in this film, I'm criticizing in a way the pornography with young people, with teenagers. So I could find an actor in 18, 19, like looks like 14, 15, and make sex like, I don't know, it's a lot of films with sex like Antichrist or La Vida del, a lot of films with nudity and sex. And I could do it actually. I could find some boys in, as I said, 18 and looks like 14, 15. But I didn't want to make a film like to be provocative. I didn't want to make a film like to be shocking. I wanted to make a smart film, an intelligent film, and with delicacy around the subject. And also, if I put in a film a naked boy in 18 but looks like 14 or 13, I'm being part of the thing I'm criticizing. So I think it was going to be really unfair if I criticize in one side and the other side I shoot boys like could look like teenagers. So it was very strange. Why should I make this decision? It could be like wrong in the message. So I really wanted to be really careful with the script and also with the shooting, to be no nakedness at all and no sex at all. Just one kiss in the middle of the film, and really in a delicate way. And you actually cannot see it directly because the boy, in 15 years old boy, is not in front of the camera. So yeah, I don't want it to be how could I say? I don't want it to be hypocrite, you know? Like I want to be direct. Yeah. Yes. So I want to be direct with the subject and very delicate in the manner I do the film.
Thank you very much for sharing with us. So, if I understand it correctly, the actors were really that young. So, my question would be, how was working with them, with such unexperienced, let's say, actors for you?
The main character it was 21 when we shot the film. He plays like 15, but it was actually bigger, so it was no problem. Also, the tattooed guy, the guy with tattoos, it was big. And then I have the smallest guy in the film, like he's 13. He's going to 14, but he's 13. And the actor was 15. But the best part in this actor is he was the brother of the other guy, the tattoo guy. When we call it mono or monkey. Yeah, and I saw a picture of him, in Instagram, and I said, who is your friend? And he said, he's my brother, and actually he wants to be an actor. And I say, I cannot believe it. It's really good because I have no the problem of the family doubting about the film, doubting about the subject, the sex, and the strong subject of the film. So I made him a casting, and he was really happy, and the family was really happy because both kids were in the film. One of them, it was 15 actually, and you have to make all these permissions with Argentina to shoot and blah, blah, and explain what are you going to do. And you see in the film, it's no nakedness, it's no kiss, it's nothing. And it was the brother of the time. It was the brother of the or the father and the mother in the shooting. So, and I think the boy, it was 15, but he was really smart. He understood the point of the film. He understood the script. We could chat. He was really open and really big in his mind. So it worked really well. I never saw like a delicate actor that I could change his life, or I could I don't know, twist his mind or something. I understood he was really smart. He knew it was acting. He knew it was an actor, and he was really happy to be in the film.
Another thing I was very surprised about was the intense and very mature and advanced performance of the actor who plays Ezekiel, your main character. And maybe, perhaps we can say he is a rising star of of Argentinian cinema because his performance was so good and such a great thing to look at. Could you tell us how exactly did you find him, and what were you looking for when looking for the actor of role of Ezekiel?
Yeah. First, yeah, he's an excellent actor. I hope he has a very bright career. Anyway, in Argentina, it's not Hollywood. It's not like we have so many opportunities. So I told him, maybe you are main character, or you are the main character in this film, and maybe it's not something that's going to happen all the time. It's not like now you are going to make films all the time. It's very difficult. He knew that. But anyway, I was trying to find actors, and the actor Javier de Pietro, he is my friend also, and he's my assistant in the classes. This actor is the main character in Absent and also in Butterfly, and he was trying to work in parallel with his work as an actor with casting. So I told him, I want this actor, blah blah. I need this age, this actor. Better if he's over 18, so you can shoot 8 hours a day, because if he's younger than 18, you can shoot 6 hours and not every day. So it was complicated for a protagonist, for a main character. So he made this casting, and this boy came, and I saw him and I like him. First, he has this really strange hair, so I said, okay, put water in your hair and put like to the side the hair to clean your front. I don't know the name of the front area. Mm-hmm. So the frontal area. So I saw him and I realized he was really good, and he was small, he was thin, but it was kind of muscular, because I didn't wanted this fragile boy. I wanted like this boy like in the street, and I don't know. I wanted to be not so fragile, and also this face really strange. I said he's like kind of an animal, so I put the camera all around, and it was every part of his face was really interesting, and he looks beautiful, but other times he looks not so beautiful, and he looks really nice and sweet, and in other times when he stares, he seems like really bad and crazy. So all these things made me in the end decide to call him and said, yeah, you are going to be the main character of my film.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. As I've mentioned before, Young Hunter is filled with tension, either sexual or other type of thriller, horror, scary-like suspense. Yes. And although it works perfectly on the screen, I cannot imagine how difficult it is to create that when writing the script on paper. So how did you approach that? How could you put in words these scenes of beautiful and scary suspense?
I don't know. I actually don't know that. I think always I say that if I weren't gay or queer, I could be a really good like terror director. So I think the genre of terror or suspense, I think I take structures from Hitchcock as example in Absent. I really like this. And also I really like the sexual tension. In the beginning of my career, everybody was talking about the sexual tension. In the beginning, I had this answer that I could answer. And I actually, in the time, I don't know how I do it. I know in all my films, I write one script and then I shoot the film. I don't have versions of the script. And when I sit to write, I'm like very involved in the writing. I think I'm there. If the characters are bad, I feel bad. If the characters cried, I actually cried. If I think I can feel the terror, I write in the script, and then I can put in images in a film. But I don't have a recipe actually. I think it's something I have. Maybe because all the movies I've seen or something that I was born with. I don't know, all the books I read, all the films I see. But I managed to do it. And the first card of A Young Hunter, I didn't like it so much. I made the cutting also, and I think it was not so strange as I wanted. And then I was trying. When I say cut, I said you have the script, and then you could make like this first cut, like very similar to the script, but I have to move some pieces, and in the end it works. And I don't know actually the way. I know it's more cinematography, the tension, the sexual tension and the tension with terror is more cinematography and editing than acting. It's something I can do in the shooting with the time I work. Every time for example, if I have to teach this for film student, every time I shoot these kind of films with tension or with terror, I work a lot with music, and also I work a lot like shooting, and then when I think it's finished, when I have to set cut, I never cut. I count like to 30, like inside my head, like 1, 2, 3. So I work really careful with the time, and then when I make the editing, I can manage to make this work. I don't know, but I don't think it's a recipe. I just think it's something I was working all my life. I started study drama lessons when I was 15, and I was reading and seeing maybe five until I made Plan B. I saw sometimes like 5 films every day, 4, 3 films. So I was really learning inside me, and then when I was the double of my age, when I was 30, I made my first film, and I think I was 15 years desiring and learning and watching the world and watching things, and all this combination made me this director today, I think. Yes.
Right. So as you've said, the timing and the silent scenes of the movie are very crucial to creating the chilling atmosphere. And another part of the film that participates in that, I would say, is for sure the film score, which often speaks on its own, and it's also the only thing that can give us some hints about what is to come, while the image is silent and stays the same. So I would be interested in getting to know how exactly did it work with incorporating the music to the movie, with the union of image and music. Could you tell us something about that?
The thing with the music is actually I work with the same musician since my first short film, since The Watch, and he's one of my best friends. Actually, the daughter of him is the young lady, the young child in the blonde one. So we are really good friends. So we never work before the film. I shoot the film, I make the editing, and sometimes I use music from other places. I steal music from terror movie or from Mozart or Beethoven or anything I want to for editing, and then I give to him, and I said, okay, work as free as you want. We know very well. He knows me very much and very well. So he make this music, and I sit with him. Every time he has some music, for example, he called me and said, Marco, I have the first music for the first scene. So I go to his place, I listen, and it's always 3 weeks of work. Could be I said I don't like at all, so he has to start again. Or I said it's perfect, don't move it. Or sometimes I said, I like, but I think the piano maybe is too much, so try to change. So he changed in the moment, and we are 2 or 3 hours working in this theme. And then when it's ready, I said, okay, this is finished. And then we go like this with every part of the film, working like in 2, 3, 4, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then it's finished. And when I'm happy, when I think it is working, when I think the idea I have in my mind, or sometimes I said like very stupid things, like I think for me in this part the music must be something creepy, but also I think I imagine only like flute. So he maybe sometimes use my ideas and make music. But I don't know. I think also we work all the time. We are very open to think we are learning and improving. I'm all the time saying I'm learning. I want to be ready to shoot really big films when I'm 55. But until now, I think all the time I'm really open to learn. So I think all my films, I use it for learning, for improving, for trying new things, and imagining one day I could have like much money for make uh, my imagination to make it really grow. I know it's not true because I make a lot of films and all of them are films and are very good films. But the way I used to I never think everything is ready and now I have only to make films. All the time I think I have challenge to put to myself and to grow and to learn and to try new things, and I never say this film is like in Young Hunter. I never said, okay, Young Hunter is the film of my life. I think it's a film. And then it's another one, and then it's another one. And all the time I see films like a way to grow as a filmmaker.
Beautiful. To come a little bit back to the terror of your movie, we've been talking about how Young Hunter can be categorized as a thriller, but at the beginning it seems rather as a regular coming-of-age story, right? And
Yes.
it seems to me that this kind of merging of two genres together is not completely new to you, because you've done something like that before. For example, with your movie Plan B, which fuses tropes of romantic comedy and some dramatic sexual suspense. So
Yes.
my question would be, is there any genre left that you would like to explore and maybe merge with something else next?
I don't know. I have this. I want to make this love story. It's I want to merge. I'm going to start with another thing. I really love when in cinema people merge things. It was like 5 years ago a film that it was a romantic comedy mixed with zombies, and for me it was amazing because it was come on, everything is perfect when you can improve something new, when you can say okay, it's no way to shoot, actually you can find your own way. So I want to make this love story, like really sweet love story, mix with retro futurism. I don't know how, if it's okay, if you understand. Yes. So it's like this sci-fi fiction, a little dystopic, and it's something I want to try. But more than genre, what I really like to work is with the mind of the spectator. I think you can see this very very well in Absent. In Absent, I think the first part of the film, I create a monster. I actually create a monster that you hate, this teenager, because you think he's a psychopath and he's crazy. And then the film changed, and you have to see all the film again, and you have to realize maybe it was only a boy in love. So I really like to work with the mind of the spectator. And this, I think I learned from books I read with Hitchcock. He said in Psychosis, people get really afraid in a moment, or the terror actually is psychological, because when the main character in the middle of the film dies, you think is nothing else to show, and you feel really like you don't know what could actually happen, because when you see a film, the main character actually is you. So in the middle of the film, if you die, is okay, and what's next? Like really death in real life. You don't know what is going after the death. So I really like to work with the mind of the spectator. That's why in Young Hunter, in the beginning, you see that it's like, okay, if this is a love story between this boy and the tattoo guy with the skater, but then some strange things start to happen, and also the terror music start to be around. So you think you are lost, and you don't know actually where this is going. And that's why I think I put the spectator in my hand, and I can play with the spectator. It's like if you have the patience to come in my films, in all of them, in Taekwondo, in Hawaii, when you have the patience to come inside, it's very difficult you go out. I think in my films, because I realize with the script, sometimes I send the script to people and said, yeah, I read the first 10 pages and then I couldn't stop. And I couldn't go to sleep because I wanted to know where this was going. And this is because when I write a script and when I write a film, I try to understand, I try to make this game with my mind. It's like to be the spectator in the same time. And all the time think, how could I take this spectator to the film and to be really engaged to the film? Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very complicated, right?
Yeah, I think I got few parts, but I'm not very sure. So to elaborate on your inspiration, you've visited many film festivals. I'm sure you've watched and you've seen many films. So I'm wondering if there's any specific trend of contemporary queer cinema that you particularly liked and that you would like to explore yourself?
No, I actually don't know so much about the trend of what people are doing now. I don't really try to follow this. I don't think is okay now is this a trend, or now people is making films about this. I try to make the films I want to make and the films I want to see. Of course, it's directors I really like Anne Lee with Brokeback Mountain, but I don't know very contemporary. I don't know so much. I really love Matthias and Maxine, the Xavier Dolan, but maybe not all of his films. And I don't only see queer films, because for me, it's not like I make queer films. I make films. It's like nobody say Pretty Woman is a straight film or Star Wars is a straight film. So I see it in the same way. I don't see my films as a queer films. I make films I know they are queer and I know they are gay, but I don't see them especially as queer or gay films. I make films, and as you cannot put the label in Woody Allen saying straight kind of films, I don't think I put myself the level of queer films. It's not to degrade the queer cinema. Of course, I really love the queer cinema and I really love the queer festivals and everything. But I don't see it like that. I see my film as a film, and I hope it's a film for everybody, for gay people, for straight people, for trans people, for everybody. I think as a film.
That's a very interesting point of view, I would say, and maybe it's not such a bad idea to start labeling straight films as straight.
Yes.
I would really like to watch some television to put on Pretty Woman and a big title of "Be aware, this is a straight film."
Yes, could be really fun.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm afraid this was the last question, and we don't have any time left. So, Marco, very many thanks to you for joining us and for making time to speak with us. It was a great pleasure, and fingers crossed for your film at our competition.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. In the beginning of in the interview, I was really maybe strange because I said, okay, make it in English, but I think it's not my mother language. It's sometimes really difficult to explain things, but it's okay. I think it worked.
I think I understand it completely, so I'm sure that the audience did too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, so that was all from me now, hopefully. And coming up right now is an interview with our main jury. They will share some thoughts and opinions on our main competition, so be sure to make sure to stay tuned, and thank you very much for joining us today. Bye bye.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to our Mezipatra live studio, which happens every night during the whole festival, which is taking place online this year. As you know, you can watch all the films throughout the program every night of the festival. So you don't have to follow any, screenings. You can just choose the film you want to watch and select it and watch it every night that you like to. I would like to talk about the juries of the festival now. As you know, you are the biggest jury of the festival, as we have an audience award. And you can choose from all the new feature films. You can just follow the link in the description of every film throughout the competition and the new feature films, and rate it. And you will be giving the audience award of the 21st Mezipatra. Next, we have also a student jury, which consists of three great students from Prague and international, and they give the award for the best short film. And last but not least, and that's why we are here tonight, we have the main jury of the festival, which is giving out the award for the best feature film in competition. I would like to welcome all the jurors here with me tonight. And first of all, I would like to shortly introduce everyone. First of all, we have Bára Šichanova, who is my long years friend, and she is a dramaturgist of the Czech national broadcaster of the radio, and she also is the host of a very special podcast that is called Šeptej, Whisper in English, about intimacy. Hello, Bára.
Hi, hello, thanks for having me.
Next, I would like to welcome my next friend, who is Brigitte Oshia. She is the head of industry at Doc Leipzig, which is a documentary film festival in Germany, and she also is a founder or co-founder of the Documentary Association of Europe. Hello and welcome, Brigitte.
Thank you so much for having me, Pavel.
Hi. And last but not least, it's Marian Amsler, who is also my friend, and he is a great theater director from Slovakia. He has directed, among others, also for the Slovak National Theatre, and he is also a teacher at the University of Performing Arts in Bratislava. Hello and welcome, Marian.
Thank you very much. Hi to everyone.
Hi. So, our jurors this year, they are in a very special position because they cannot be here with us in Prague in the cinema halls, which is of course hurting us a lot, that we cannot share the cinematic experience with them. But to start the discussion, I would like to ask you personally, how is the lockdowns and the current situation that we have in our countries affecting you, your life, and maybe your job? Bára, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. So, well, of course, the situation is now difficult for all of us, I guess. But I have to say I'm probably one of the lucky ones because so far I have no bad experience with lockdown. I feel fine. All of beloved people around me are okay, healthy. So fingers crossed that everything's okay. And in radio, we are trying to work like pretty normally, just with less people in a building, in studios, of course, and more of them are staying at the home office, me included. For most of I work, I don't need to use any studio, so I can record, in my bedroom under the blanket when there is a need to do that. So I feel really fine. And what also lockdown gave to me, if I can say, it's maybe. The realization how important for me, for my mental health, is walking and especially running. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's it.
I'm happy you say that because I actually enjoy walking myself, and I find the pleasure in it nowadays.
Yeah.
Bridget, how are you in this situation? How is your lockdown, and how is your life in this special condition?
Well, I think like in Germany, we're pretty lucky because um, since the initial outbreak, like the numbers here have been fairly low. And I think in the two cities that I spend most of my time in, being Berlin and Leipzig, because of like the fabric of the cities, the way they're built, the way people live, actually we have a lot more space than I would say like if you're living in Paris or in London or in New York, where things have been decidedly different. In terms of work, it completely changed everything this year because also I like founded a new company or association or whatever you want to call it, a new entity in February. So like we had a plan of how we would like roll that out this year, and then of course nothing that we had planned to do we did do, and we did totally different things instead. And so, you know, like in that sense it was probably for us not such a bad thing because not traveling meant that we could keep the costs associated with the PR of launching something new to an absolute minimum, because the internet and online space offers you different ways to reach different people.
Yes. Hmm.
And then in terms of being alive, also on top of the pandemic and the lockdown, like the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement that had already started, and these new conversations about civil rights and human rights um, and race and ethnicity inside like the white supremacist machine that is the European Union, which mostly finances the work that I do, has been really interesting. So I would say like despite all of the really nasty stuff that's happened this year, and despite the terrible oppression that other people have faced, for me this year has been deeply inspiring and really interesting, and I've been trying to expand
Yes.
my world and expand
Yes.
my discourse while wearing leggings on my couch.
And I have also noticed in Germany it has become a topic. For example, how racist the police officers are, and this movement, you know, it clearly has an impact on all the countries, not only the U.S., which is great. Marianne, how about you? How are you feeling? How is your life?
Well, as far as I work for theater, and in theater we need live audience, so the working is really, really difficult right now. Especially right now, I'm working on a project with a Bratislava queer theater, No Mantinels, and it's a really kind of documentary play about queer people, about their lives during socialism, during the communist era. And the project already started. We have to finish it until this year because of some fundings, and so now we are working on it, but we don't know if there will be an opening night or we will stream it online for people at home. But you know, it's different in theater than in movies, so we really don't know right now what will happen, but we hope that everything will be fine. So we will finish the project, and it will be streamed, or it will get to the audience. And my second job is teaching at the Academy of Performing Arts. It's the situation like we have distant teaching, so uh, I can be at home and talk to my students, but I really miss the contact with them, so it's the same. But the good thing, maybe I can watch a lot of movies. I could see all the Mezipatra movies like in time and didn't miss anything from the program. So that's the good thing, that I'm in no rush, no hurry, no stress as usual. So I'm taking it like now it's again time for a little rest, and maybe absorb some
Yes.
new situation.
Yes, and Marianne, I also happen to know that you folks in Bratislava have theater festival called Drama Queer. It was supposed
Yes.
to take place recently, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was in the middle of October, and I was attending with two of my performances I did sooner this year. But yeah, the situation was that some of the performances were cancelled, but some of them were streamed online. So it was really great, organized by Robert Pacan and his team. So we did like performance. We played like for the cameras, and most quite quite all of the shows were streamed online. So the festival took its place, but wasn't open for audience.
But it was, some kind of this hybrid version of the festival.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
But
we may,
everything's new for us. We have to try what we can
yes,
to
yes,
do.
yes. We are all trying to do what we can. That's right.
Yeah.
Now I would like to talk a little bit about this year's Mezipatra, because you folks know the festival, of course, since many years. I would like to ask you a very personal question: what you thought of the program of the 21st Mezipatra, meaning this year, in general. Did you have a chance to attend any of the side events, or were you just watching the films? And we will talk about the individual films later. So just what you think in general, Baro, if you can start.
Yes, I suppose I could take this as an opportunity to thank you, all you guys of the Mezipatra crew, because I think you did a great job. It like had to be exhausting, and made a lot of effort to transform all the program from cinema that was planned to online space, and this unbelievable Mezipatra TV, which was very great. And I'm honored I could be the host of two discussions a few days ago. So it was also a great experience with your professional approach. So you you do really great job. So thanks for that. And to be honest, I had no time to watch much of off program yet. But I have to lot to catch up, and I will. But to the movies, I was pretty surprised by the quality and also diversity between the movies. Speaking of main competition, they come from very different environments and countries, and depict various topics. Of course, probably they will also very like different kind of audiences on a scale of LGBTQ plus people. So yeah, I I really enjoyed it.
And we thank you, Bara, from the bottom of our hearts for being, besides a great juror, also a great host, traditionally
Pleasure.
to our off-program discussions, and it's been really special this year. Bridget,
Yeah, thank you.
what did you think of the program in general?
Well, first of all, it's super nice for me because I spend a lot of time in the documentary space. So to have the opportunity to watch some fiction films for a change is like very refreshing for me. But of course, like I have to like give a shout out for the documentaries. So don't forget also to watch I think there are at least 3 documentaries in the competition who I've watched. One is still on my
There are
to
2
watch list.
documentaries in competition and 3 documentaries besides that, all the documentaries as well.
Yeah, yeah, and I liked also because the 2 documentaries are quite like genre pushing ones. They're also somehow sitting at the intersection of fiction and documentary. So it's interesting that they haven't only, I guess, been selected for their thematic approaches or for the themes that they cover, but also for their artistic merit. So it's been really exciting to see.
like it. Marianne, what is your feeling about the 21st Mezipatra and its program?
Yeah, I enjoy it very much, and of course, thank you that I could be part of it somehow. And I visit Mezipatra, and we also have Bratislava Film Festival in Akosti, and sometimes there are quite the similar movies. So, but this year's Mezipatra for me was like I could watch all of the movies in the main program, and I also watched the Q&As with directors sometimes because I find it interesting also for my profession. So I was really enjoying the talks about the movie,
Mhm,
especially today. It was really interesting about this
mhm,
Cazador movie.
mhm,
I was always thinking about when you do such a film, how do you cast the actors, especially young actors, and how to work with them on these very sensitive topics. And so it was really interesting to watch also these discussions.
mhm,
And for the main program, uh, yeah, we are really in a hard position to decide the winner of the festival because I would say I have like four of maybe five movies
uh-huh,
that are on the top of the list for me, and I was like, oh wow, that this one is great. It has to be the winner. And
mhm.
then comes another one, and I say, oh my god, this is maybe better, but maybe not, I don't know. So
Yeah.
when we first met with the colleagues from the jury, we were talking like what's most important for us to decide. It's the maybe the social approach, the impact, the quality of the movie techniques, of the camera, or so on. And in my opinion, I think we agreed that maybe the most important thing will be really the impact of the movie, this maybe
Yes.
the
Yes.
social importance, why the film was made, and about what it is. It's maybe more important than the
Yes.
technical or the artistic matter. But I must say, both sides, both
Mhm,
qualities were at a very high level. So I really liked the movies I'd seen,
mhm.
and yeah, it will be difficult. We haven't decided yet, so we have a little more time, but
Yes.
looking forward for the another discussion.
And I must say, I do not envy you your position because, as you may notice, we
Yeah,
love all our films, and it's probably the toughest part of your job, to select the parameters that will play the decisive, role in who is gonna be awarded. And I'm happy, Mariana, that you mentioned the side events and the discussions with the Q&As with the filmmakers as well, because that's a great advantage of this online festival, that all the discussions, all the side events are actually recorded and being out there in the world of the web for everybody to access anytime. So actually, I feel like I have spent the most active time watching people talk at Mezipatra this year, like more than ever before, because I'm always on my couch at home and I'm watching all the YouTube streams, and I'm always there, which is a great access to this online edition, I would say. Um, Baro, I already mentioned that you have your own podcast about the intimacy and about love, about sex on the Czech public broadcaster, on the Czech public radio, and I noticed that you have already done maybe during spring some editions, some parts of the podcast about love and sex during quarantine or during lockdowns. How would you say that this is actually having impact on us? What did your protagonist say?
Yeah, this was a special episode prepared during the spring, as you mentioned, and well, The episode contains an interview with a head of research department of sex laboratory, and they made an evaluation of one part of research about the impact of pandemic of COVID-19 on sexual lives of Czech people. And the result was for someone obvious, maybe, but it says that were less depressed, for example, and more satisfied were people living in couples or in relationships compared to singles. Well, that is probably the reason why singles felt more motivated to find a new girlfriend or boyfriend after the end of lockdown. Then all the participants confirmed as well an increase of the desire to have sex with someone, which is also interesting. But anyway, the bottom line is there is no such a thing as a COVID-19 effect on a whole population and their sexual life, let's say.
Yeah. But we will see in the next months or years or in our lives how this actually affected us, right? Because we are living now in the spiral of immediate and quick changes. Everything is so dynamic. So I'm actually myself very curious how this turns out.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Marianne, as I mentioned, you are a theater director, and if I know correctly, you've been rehearsing and also performing the plays online. How is it? How is it working? How is the reception of the audiences of the online plays?
Yeah, it's kind of new experience for us with preparing this online stream in theater because we are used to play for live audience, of course, and you put three cameras in the audience, and then you start. We have some rehearsals, technical rehearsals about the sound and light and so on. And if everything works, then we go online and stream the show. But yeah, it's really strange feeling for the actors to play, to act uh, in front of empty hall. So they have to focus more on the cameras, and something is like a little bit different. But I think the reception is quite good. I hope the online space will be full, unfortunately, in a while, because everyone now must be online. So it's like every day there was a lot of activities, and not only theater, film festivals,
Yes.
and different festivals, and also the school, some other projects, and everything. So I hope that people will accept this for a while, and still will be willing to watch it
Yes.
and stay with us, because this is hard times for artists,
Yes.
especially for artists that needs to be live,
Yes.
like not only theater makers but also musicians and all the stuff around it, because
Yes.
it's not only about artists, it's also about other professions that works in this industry. And so I hope that we will survive these hard times for a while, and these new experiences we can maybe uh, use and develop something more, because there is also this like genre of live cinema or theater that is also video recorded and played online during performance. So this is kind of similar, but the new thing is that it's online, so you cannot change anything during the streaming process.
Yes.
So everything has to be perfectly rehearsed, and then every mistake counts, as you cannot
Yes.
fix it. So it's better than movie making, because you can do it again, but in this live theater you must be perfect. But I love the thing that it's not perfect, because it's you can see it's live, so
Yes.
every mistake counts.
Yes.
and then you can feel that this is really going live. So
But you know, believe me that for us as festival organizers, it is a completely different mindset as well. You know, I'm watching the numbers of the viewers at the festival every day. I get this report, but and I am at the festival every day in the studio or elsewhere. You know, I'm always working at the festival, but I don't see the audiences. But I know they are there, and I have to constantly remind myself, you know, there are people watching us, there are people that are with us every day, and I would like to thank the audiences that you are with us, that you are watching the films, and that you are watching the live studios. It means a lot for us, and but at the same time, you know, we have to constantly remind ourselves that there are actually people behind the computers that are with us, even though we do not see them physically. Bridget, you just finished the last Doc Leipzig a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, or 2 weeks ago. Could you maybe shortly describe how was the festival for you? How was this new experience? Maybe it was a little bit hybrid as well. I know you had some screenings in cinemas, but at the same time, your industry program was totally online, right?
Yeah, so for anyone who's from the Mezipatra general audience, if you like, Doc Leipzig is the oldest festival for animation and documentary in the world. It exists in 65 years, but the industry program is much younger, and so the festival program is public facing and it's for the local audience as much as it is to delight our international guests. Whereas the industry program is really targeted at as a meeting place or marketplace for people to buy and sell documentary films. So for us in May, like it was totally clear already that we wouldn't be able to have a physical festival or a physical industry program because we're too embedded in the international scene. And it didn't seem correct to have some guests who would be able to come and other guests who would like be forced either to miss out on the experience entirely
Yes.
or participate in a different way. So we made the decision really early on. And then for the film festival part, because it's really there to nourish and service the local audience first, we were able to have some screenings. But also it was very strange because we made the executive decision either all the filmmakers come or no filmmakers can come. So we had screenings for our local audience, and then we had either pre-recorded material that filmmakers had like sent into us with Q&As or discussions, and then also some live programming. And like live panel discussions, live Q&As. That part of the award ceremony was also live streamed. So it was it was a mix of all kinds of things. And the reason also for that this year was because it was the first time we were doing it. So it's like when you have like no basis to build on, and I'm sure for Mezipatra, for your team, it was also the same. Like you're going into something without any kind of notes from previous editions about how you would make something better, or like what's the, you have this amount of budget, how can we spend it the best way, or which guests will like which things. Like, there's years and years of market experience that have gone into planning these film festivals, and I mean they're still deeply problematic in their own way, but we have all of this basis to build on. And so for me, the most stressful part of this year was like, will these events make sense for our guests? Will they want to participate in them? And will it be a good use of their time and money? Because when you're organizing a market, it's also a commercial entity, we're not highly commercial. We're not dealing in like Hollywood films or something, but it is about helping people generate income and audience and network. And those are our three main mandates. And so the festival itself, I decided it was very stressful to plan it. And that's very sad because also organizing live events should be a joyful experience. It should also be about having fun together and building something beautiful and meaningful and idiosyncratic. And trying to build something beautiful, meaningful, and idiosyncratic in a digital space that you don't really understand the rules of is, of course, a really stressful and tricky undertaking. But in the festival week, we decided we would prioritize prioritize joy. So we just like put our smiling faces on, and like adjusting and adjusting and adjusting the whole time, because
Yes.
I feel like you also, as you were saying, Pavel, you need like the commitment of either your beneficiaries, and in your case, like your audience, to
Yes.
come with you on the journey. So you have to also be willing to, say,
Yes.
we need them as much as they need us. And so this
Yes.
kind of finding ways to work in reciprocity was really an
Yes.
interesting challenge, including that meant being online, 16 hours a day,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
a lot.
And I think it's a big challenge for us if we ever have to do this again, and probably we will have to. That's a feedback from our mutual friend Skadi Loist, actually, who was heading the side event, the industry event about queer television. That what she is missing at the online film festivals is the time out of the discussions. It's like Skype in,
Yeah.
Skype out, but there is no time, no space to mingle. There is no space to actually, enjoy ourselves together and get acquainted to each other besides the actual events. So that will be, of course, a big challenge for us if we ever have to come to this again, I guess.
But I have thoughts on this. Like, I think you can actually create that space, and this, I guess, is also a call to action to everybody. Like,
Yes.
you say those spaces don't exist, but they can exist, I think. But we all have to be committed to go to them, even if we don't like them. In the same way that, like, we're committed to go to the festival cocktail, even if it's like noisy. So I
Yeah.
think like we're just in a process of redefining our relationships,
Yes.
and so
Definitely.
if we agree that like we need the mingle space, then you have to be willing to turn up and mingle. And I think that's very hard for
Yes.
people at the moment because our lives are so busy, and I
Yes.
understand that people have to pick up their kids from school at 6 o'clock and can't come for a drink
Exactly.
in a Sky. Yeah.
Exactly. So to move on, I would like to come to the actual films that you have already seen, and I would like to ask every one of you to name one, maybe two, maybe three films in the selection that you really loved, and I hope it will not be three films the same, but we will see. Maybe there will. So Bara, can we start with you? What did you like in the main competition so far, and why did you like the films you did?
Okay, so well, in general, for me as a journalist, is often more important than the topic, kind of a message or statement that makes sure a thing status quo of the society we are living in, as Marianne mentioned earlier. So that's probably why I have no hard feelings. Then yesterday I watched Little Girl, the documentary, a French documentary, which was, I find it also very moving and really emotional.
Yes.
And Makeup. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the third
Perfect.
favorite for me.
Thank you so much. I'm not gonna comment on that, of course, because I want
Yeah.
to. I want you to make your decision on your own. But let's move on to Bridget, if we may. What were your favorite film or films so
Uh,
far?
Unfortunately, we have crossovers there, so which is really it's a problem. Now I have to think about what I also liked, but I watched this. I mean, I loved Little Girl. I watched that
Yes.
last night too. I
Yes.
really was like flashed by it a lot. And then I guess I liked this Argentinian film that I watched today. And I can't remember the
One
title,
in a
which is very bad.
Thousand.
Yes.
One in a
Yeah.
Thousand or El Cazador. They are actually two Argentinian films.
No, it's not One in a Thousand. It's the other one.
El Cazador.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yep.
much. My brain is still
Very
broken from my.
answer.
Yeah. Okay, Marianne, how about you? What did you like?
Um, yeah, I like more movies. If I say I really like Between the Seasons,
Mm-hmm.
Minion,
Mm-hmm.
and The Drive-In. I say it first because that were movies that I enjoyed to
Mm-hmm.
watch, but more or to put on the top. it was also No Hard Feelings. I found really one of the most strongest movies I've seen in this year, and also One in a Thousand. I was really moved by this one, and Lola. Okay, I say three.
Yeah.
uh, I said more, but
Yeah.
this last three were for me for
Yes.
now one of the, I wouldn't say best, say maybe the that touched me
Yes.
most.
Thank you for sharing the films, and I am really curious what will be the winner in the end. We will announce the winner together on the 21st of November, next week on Saturday. So let's slowly move on to the end of our lovely discussion, and I must say once more that I'm really, really happy to be here with you tonight, at least virtually. The last question from me would be, because now in the setting that we cannot go into the cinemas are closed in our countries. Do you actually enjoy watching films or series at home? And which kind of films or series do you prefer when you're alone or with your partners or with your family at home? Yeah, if you have any recommendations for us, Baro, if you can start again.
Yeah. So I would like to mention, well, I watch mostly series at home, and I would like to mention series We Are Who We Are of Luca Guadagnino's. Well, I like almost all the movies made by him, and I really like that. It's I like the lazy mood and the pace and the sweaty summer, and yeah, it brought kind of relief for me, especially in this time, like during the lockdown. So yeah.
And what is it about? I don't know the series. I haven't heard of that, I guess.
We Are Who We Are.
Uh-huh.
It's about the two teenagers living in a American soldiers base
Uh-huh.
in Italy near to Venice, and it's a story of two kids, two teenagers, having a friendship together, and also about their parents. There is a lesbian couple as well, and it's really, so you have
Uh-huh.
to watch it.
Perfect. Thank you for the recommendation. And I assume you like watching the series most of all on your couch
Yeah,
at home, right? Yeah, that's the
yeah,
same
yeah,
for
sure.
me actually. The short forms are better. Bridget, how
Yeah, yeah,
about
for me
you?
as well. Yeah.
Should I tell you the truth or should I tell you a lie?
No, you should tell the truth.
Okay.
So you hate the cinema?
No. No. But I would like to continue to be invited to juries. So I will preface this statement by saying I do also watch films, but at the moment I've been like exclusively watching like competitive British baking shows
Yes.
and family cooking drama.
They are a big
And
thing,
I
right?
know, yeah, and it's just because I've just exited a period of spending a long time looking at screens for the film festival, and I just like I don't have at the moment like the concentration level to dedicate myself to content that I need to take seriously. So
Yes.
like I'm watching my
Yes.
Mezipatra films, and I have to like leave my phone in the other room because otherwise I'll
Yes.
just like mess around
Yes.
on it.
Yes.
And this is one of the problems that I have of not being in the cinema. Like in the cinema, I get a
Yes.
much more concentrated view, and as somebody who like has, I don't think I have ADHD or something, but I certainly have like concentration issues. I really miss like the immersive experience of watching things together.
Yes.
Um, and also at home, I'm too tempted to not use my brain or
Yes.
destroy it
Yes.
via British baking shows.
Yes, I pretty much share. I pretty much share your opinion as well. That at home you have to, or we prefer to watch something lighthearted or something funny rather than serious. And of course, I miss personally I personally miss the cinematic experience so much. also when selecting the films for Mezipatra, etc. How about you, Marianne? What do you like to watch at home, if you like to watch anything at home? And what would be your recommendations?
Yes, it's maybe similar as Bara said that at home I usually watch series now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe I really also need to be in cinema to watch whole movie and to concentrate on it. And so at home, I really watch series now. My guilty pleasure kind of is this Nordic noir detective series. Doesn't matter if it's from Iceland or Sweden or Denmark. So these are my favorite series right now. But also to be queer for a while, I watched this Australian. Uh, it's not sitcom. It's maybe dramedy. It's called Please Like Me,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and I found it really amusing and also intelligent and also really funny and sad at the same time.
What is the
And I
topic?
discovered Hannah Gadsby. The topic.
Uh-huh.
It's written by Josh Thomas. It's
Uh-huh.
a young. I think he studied TV school, film of school,
Uh-huh.
and he wrote a sitcom about his life, about his relation with his mother, and she ended in a mental institute,
Mm-hmm.
and she became friend with a lesbian woman. She took to her home and
Mm-hmm.
started to live with her,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I discovered Hannah Gadsby, this
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
actress or a woman that makes her own stand-up comedy, and that's how I. This is my recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mhm.
it's on one streaming platform. Hannah
Mm-hmm.
Gadsby, two shows. One is called Nanette, and the second one is called Douglas, and it's really like an hour of excellent stand-up show, and watched
Mm-hmm.
it twice, I must say, because I really loved it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my
Mm-hmm.
discover
Mm-hmm.
the show Please Like Me and Hannah Gadsby stand-up comedies,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really excellent.
Perfect. So we are coming to an end of our session. I would like to thank you once more for being with us, for being our great jurors this year. And I cannot wait to meet you at the closing night again virtually. And thank you so much. If you want to say anything final about it.
Well, thank you as well, and I hope you all will be safe, COVID-free, and to watch Mezipatra movies. And well, I'm really curious how we are going to decide, because it will be tough,
Yes.
really. Like,
Bridget?
Oh, just thank you so much for having us and for having this what being given this wonderful task of deciding. And I hope the audiences enjoy the films as much as we are.
Yes.
And I really hope to be back in Prague as soon as
Yes.
possible.
And Marianne?
Yes, also thank you for having us, and thank you for this opportunity. And I was really looking forward to be in Prague during this week, so I'm really sad I
Yes.
couldn't. So, but it's not so far from Bratislava, so I hope we
Yes.
will meet soon live, and maybe with all the other jurors to meet in person, because it's a pleasure to be
Also,
here and to talk to you, and we'll see how
thank
it
you.
ends in the competition.
Thank you. And I was writing this all over my social media, all the guests and all the jurors that have been part of this year's virtual Mezipatra or online Mezipatra will be invited to the next offline edition. So I hope I will meet you all here physically next year. And thank you again, and have a great night. And all the audiences, thank you as well for watching the films. Watch more films, and we will be meeting here again. Thank you, and have a good night.